Let's move on to movies. Let's talk about the movie year. 2024. It's really, really interesting because like there are some potential big hits here. Some sequels, of course, and definitely some original projects that have, I think, again, tremendous upside of what they can be. But it'll be a year largely absent of those mega franchise, mega IP blockbusters. I think largely due to the fact that Marvel is only releasing one
Hmm.
theatrical release this year. DC only has one theatrical release this year, and it's not even really DC. It's like some other shit. So it's not DC truthfully because James Gunn is
Yeah.
doing his own thing for next year with Superman Legacy. And also, some of the other big releases that were going to come out this year have gotten pushed until 2025. We were supposed to
Hmm.
get Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. We were supposed to get Mission Impossible 8. We were supposed to get Thunderbolts and Captain America all this year, and all of those movies got punted to 2025 for various reasons, but largely due again to the production strikes of last year. So, with all of that said, man, let's go ahead and dive in and do our top five most anticipated movies of 2024. So, what's first on your list? What's at number five of what you're looking forward to the most?
Man, so this year, it's so interesting, bro. Like, this list was so hard to make because there's always like, you'll see another movie and be like, wait, maybe that movie is really on my number five spot. I really don't know. But I went out on a limb with this with my number five spot. I did. I'm like, I like the director too much, and I'm just going to go ahead and give him the spot. My number five is going to go to Nosferatu, which is the upcoming Robert Eggers film, which I guess kind of a remake, of the film of the same name. Nosferatu, people don't understand, has done a lot for film. Nosferatu helped create vampire movies, The Joker. Like, it has done so much in pop culture of a movie. And Robert Eggers is such a crazy filmmaker, both like in the way he's able to visualize things, that I'm pretty excited to see how this film turns out, man. I think he if anybody can do it, it's definitely him. So that's my number five spot. Again, I kind of went out on a limb and it was like, I like Robert Eggers so much. I'm just like, let me just throw him in there. So yeah, my number five spot goes to Nosferatu.
That's my number four because
Yeah.
Robert Eggers,
Yeah.
a Nosferatu movie on Christmas Day. What?
What crazy.
Like I'm totally in. I was in the moment that I heard about it. This is gonna be a fucking Christmas present if we ever got one. I'm so ready for this. Like he has not missed at all with any of his movies, and he's always done such a good job. He's probably the best director at excuse me, at atmosphere, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the one thing I'm looking forward to the most, at like what he can bring to this particular character and this property and what he can do. And apparently Willem Dafoe is like a vampire hunter in this movie. So yeah,
10 out of
I'm
10
I'm so ready
already.
for it. My number five though is Furiosa, which is coming out in a
Yeah.
few months here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the long awaited prequel movie to George Miller's 2015 masterpiece, Mad Max Fury Road, which is just, one of the most incredible action films ever made. And now finally 9 years later, we're getting the movie that they've long talked about, and Anya Taylor-Joy is stepping into the role. Chris Hemsworth is going to be the big bad in the movie. It looks great. It looks just like Fury Road in terms of spirit and style and tone, and you can only imagine what George Miller has probably accomplished with this movie, with 9 more years of experience and wisdom and technology advances and just like the best talent in the world at his disposal. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is also in this movie, and it's coming out like 5 days before my birthday, so a great treat there.
Fire.
I'm so ready for it. Furiosa, it's gonna be. I have no doubt. Like, there's no reason to doubt George Miller. I know that there were some criticisms about the use of CGI. It's like, fuck all of that. Like, this man is going to take care of this because Mad Max, the franchise, is his baby. He's made all of these movies. It's been 40 plus years. I just see no
Mm-hmm.
reason right now why it would result in anything less than being probably one of my favorite movies of the year. So I can't wait for it.
Okay, and people better put some respect on Babe, Pig in the City,
It's a great
and put
movie.
some respect on the first Happy Feet.
It's a
Put
great
some
movie.
respect on these movies from George Miller,
My man
man.
is versatile for sure.
He's versatile. What? Let me tell you. What's fun? We just got these flipped. That's all. Furiosa is at my number four spot. And yeah, everything you just said, bro. George Miller's a beast. Mad Max Fury Road is just one of those, man. And here we are these years later, ready to embark on the next journey with George Miller in this world, bro. And the cast is phenomenal. you, I mean, if Anya Taylor Joy's in it, I'm probably there already, anyways. And then you're telling me this is a Mad Max movie with, it's just, it has all the makings to be one of the best movies of the year, man. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to just, this is a popcorner. You know what I'm saying? This is a fun blockbuster IMAX movie that everybody should show up for. So I can't wait to watch it, man.
No, absolutely. I'll keep going then. My number three, it's a movie that was supposed to come out in a couple of months, but they have pushed it back or taken it off the release schedule. But hopefully, it still comes out this year. But it's Mickey 17,
Yeah.
Bong Joon Ho's next movie, which is starring Robert Pattinson, who I'm such a huge fan of. Obviously, just for, of course, his portrayal of the Batman, but just everything he's done outside of that, just the resume that he's built as an actor. I'm so ready for this movie, Bong Joon Ho. This is the first film that he's doing since Parasite. Won him every Oscar damn near available. Masterpiece of a movie, but also just everybody else a part of this. Tony Collette's in this movie, Mark Ruffalo, Stephen Yeun, great people, all actors that I really enjoy. This looks like a sci-fi film as well, like a high science fiction sort of concept film. And I'm ready to walk in cold too. Like I'm gonna try my best to avoid a trailer. Like I really don't want to see anything about this movie because that's my experience with
Mm-hmm.
Parasite. I didn't know anything about it until I saw it and sat down in the movie theater. So I want to try to replicate that hopefully for this one. And hopefully it does still come out this year because it was supposed to come out in March, if I'm not mistaken, but they have taken it off the calendar, have not given it a new release date. So we'll see if it still comes out this year, but hopefully it does. And if so, it will certainly be within my top five.
Man, that's another one. The only reason it's not on the list because I didn't know when that whole was coming out. I'm like, okay, so what are we doing, Mickey 17 now? Like, where are we going? And so that's the only reason I left it off. But I'm so excited, man. Bong Joon Ho is like really that guy. Like people don't even understand who this dude really is, man. Like to me, he can do no wrong. Like he's that good at making movies, bro. It's kind of crazy. So I'm also really excited to see it. My third spot is it. We'll see what happens. My third spot right now is Gladiator 2, bro. It really
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah, it is. And the reason that is Denzel Washington is in this movie, and it's just the first Gladiator. Just it's so important, bro. It's such an important movie to cinema heads alike across the world, man. And I think I feel like Ridley Scott is like gonna hit every now and then. Does that make sense? Like yeah, it's a lot of sometimes the in betweeners. It's like, yeah, really, that was cool. That was a good movie. It didn't get the shine it was supposed to get. I think this is the one where people go, oh yeah, really, Scott is back. Like this dude is at the top of what he set out to do. So I'm pretty excited for Gladiator 2. Paul Mescal, Barry Keoghan's in it. Like you know what I'm saying. Jemiah House is in it again. Pedro
Pedro.
Pascal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nuts. And so this is I'm pretty excited for Gladiator if I must say. I'm looking for some more quotables too in this movie. We got a lot of quotes from that first one. So yeah, I'm excited to watch this.
No Russell Crowe. Is there a reason he's not in this movie? Could Russell Crowe not come back? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't know what happened there.
Spoilers for Gladiator 1, but
Right,
but
yeah.
but no, like in all seriousness, no, yeah, I really, oh my god, I hope it's so. I really hope it's great. I really do.
Yeah. I need it to be.
Like you say, sometimes Ridley. I mean, he's always doing stuff at a relatively decent level. I mean, he does have
Mm-hmm.
some stinkers for sure, don't get me wrong, but he lately he's been solid, and I'm hoping that this is like a just a pure unadulterated win because it's Gladiator. It's like it's one of his most celebrated films, and now we're going on 25, almost 25 years strong since that first one, and so I can't wait. It's a great cast, loads of great potential, and hopefully it'll be one of those ones that we're talking about by the end of the year. My next one, number two, is Doom Part 2, which is coming out in a little over a month here.
Yeah.
Famously, this was, I think, both of our number ones last year because it was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to come out in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the strikes, they pushed it back because they wanted their stars to promote it. Totally reasonable. So we've had to wait like an additional 5 months. Okay, it's fine. There's only one reason, truthfully, that it's not my number one is because it is so close. It's like right there. I'm just like, well,
Yeah.
it's like here.
It's here
Basically.
now.
We just got tickets, like we just confirmed that. Which, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, fucking AMC crashed again. Ruined
Doom
my
broke it.
ruined my Friday. To be completely
Mm-hmm.
honest, because the system just could not contain the traffic, even on ridiculously empty showings. Like a week later, you couldn't book anything because the site just wasn't working. But we are good. We will be seeing it opening night, the preview night Thursday. Can't wait for this. I mean, come on. Like, come on.
Come on.
Dune, it
Come
is
on.
it is one of those epic just just wonderful sci-fi films that's really I think it's really taking us to a place in terms of just like pure cinema heads that can
Mm-hmm.
appreciate not only just great epic action, but also equally great storytelling as well. And
Yeah.
by all accounts, from the early screenings, from the few people who have seen it, they are already raving about this film and saying it surpasses the first one. Which, look, high bar to clear, but I don't doubt Denis Villeneuve at all. And what's really interesting about this too, I think it's also the 40th anniversary of the original Dune live action
Mm-hmm.
movie, and famously, like I actually like the first half of that movie. Like the first book that's supposed to be the first half of that movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually pretty solid. Where it falls off is the second half. That's where the fucking movie is like, okay, what are we doing here? So I'm like really interested to see how they handle the second one, but they've said it's going to be more action oriented, tons more Zendaya, of course, you know, and Timothy
Of
Chalamet
course.
action. And a lot of the big main players from that first one will be back in this one. So yeah, we won't have to wait long, just a few weeks here until Doom Part 2.
Oh man, this is very clearly still my favorite one. It couldn't move, bro. It couldn't move. I've actually thought about it for almost the exact same reason. Like, doing this close is like, nah, it has to stay. And part of one of those reasons is Denis Villeneuve, man. I finally pinpointed one of my currently favorite director. He just is. Denis Villeneuve is my current favorite director. He has done nothing but bangers to me, man. Between Arrival and Sicario and Prisoners, this dude is like, he just gets it from a filmmaking standpoint, man. He just understands. And the thing is about the world of Dune is it's not just some blockbuster. It's like a cool world to live in. Like if you read the books, if you there's comics surrounding Dune now. One of the shows we didn't talk about is a potential spinoff, Dune Prophecy, which is supposed to come out and supposed to take place like 10,000 years before the setting of the first book. That might happen this year, and so this has everything going for it. I think Denis Villeneuve just gets it, and so I'm really excited. It's still my number one spot, man. But yeah, I think it's gonna be like that.
7 hour pod coming from two black nerds when Doom comes out. Just look out for it.
Be
We're
ready.
gonna talk about
7 hours of nerdum,
talking about
because yeah,
every single frame of the movie, all 30,000 frames. We're gonna break down. Be ready for it. So, look, number one, Deadpool 3. I'm very excited for this movie. I can't lie.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I've spoiled myself and looked at all the leaks. I've looked at everything because why the fuck not at this point?
Couldn't
Like,
help it.
can't help it. It's out there. I won't reveal anything, to preserve that for people if they don't want to know. But they're gearing up for some crazy stuff in this movie. And the reason I really put it at number one though is just because of like the state of things with Marvel.
Yeah.
It's not
Hmm.
great. We've actively talked about it. This is the only movie coming out this year, but that's a great thing. That's a really great thing because if this is the only movie that comes out and if it's amazing, we are going to be so thankful for that. And I think we are going to actively have more positive conversations about where Marvel can go and what the
Hmm.
next few years can look like. And truthfully, though this is like releasing under Marvel Studios and Deadpool is now going to be a part of the MCU, like this isn't really an MCU movie. Like this is kind of
Hmm.
the coda to the Fox universe. I think we can
Yeah.
now actively say that that's the case, and by all accounts of what we've seen and what they've teased, this is really sort of that end chapter to an entire era of filmmaking that never truly properly got a send off. And I think
Yeah.
we're finally setting up and gearing up for that moment. And if they can pull it off, if they can deliver to the levels of what we are hoping for, this could potentially be the biggest movie of the year. It could be one of the most entertaining. And I'm really placing so much faith in Ryan Reynolds and especially Hugh Jackman, because I don't think Hugh Jackman will be coming back for some bullshit. Yeah, especially after how they did Logan. I think he's so
Yeah.
serious and he knew when he read the script, like, this is something special that I want to be a part of. And I think everybody possibly a part of this movie also kind of realizes that it might be something special. And also they just like, I think like Marvel Japan, the website, revealed like one of a like an early synopsis. It's very brief, but it
Hmm.
says something like irresponsible hero Deadpool changes the MCU forever or something like that with Wolverine. And it's
Hmm.
like, well, what does that mean? Change the MCU? Like what are we doing? I
Yeah.
can't wait to see. But yeah, this is my most anticipated. Can't wait to see it when it comes out this July.
Yeah. This is my second spot, and I can't believe we're getting it. To be honest, this is one of those ones that just the concept is so comic booky, bro. And if you know Deadpool as a character, this is like this is just so him. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like I think this is it's funny. We love the other Deadpool movies and they are great. But this is like he finally is going to get to interact with the people that we want him to interact with. We didn't get a lot of that in those first two. We got a little bit of it, but there's only so much they could do. But now that they have been, Fox has been, consumed, the world is now open. In the world, Deadpool, the world is quite literally his oyster now. And so I'm so excited to what this movie is going to mean, what this movie is going to get to, and what they're going to do in this movie, man. And by none other than the two people who we couldn't even see playing. Nobody else can play Deadpool but Ryan Reynolds. Here we are. Nobody else could play Wolverine at the time, at least. Here we are, Hugh Jackman, man. And so it's going to be great. The costumes look good. Everything we've seen look good. The leaks to me look good. Everything looks good to me is what I'm saying. And so I'm very excited for this movie. Like it's the one MCU film coming out this year. I think it's going to be an event. I do. I think people are going to show up. It's in the middle of the summer. We also kind of talked about this off podcast, but this movie comes out the exact same weekend as San Diego Comic-Con. That cannot be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be like that. Like that, the energy is gonna be around this movie like that. And so I'm elated, over the moon for this movie to come out and for it to be good. I think we might have something on our hands. So we'll have to see. But until then, man, it's going to be heavily anticipated.
Man, oh, it's been 6 years since Deadpool 2. It's been so long.
Wow,
So
it's a long time.
we're kicking off and like also ending eras, because this is also supposed to kind of kick off a potential new direction for the MCU in terms of more mature storytelling. You know, maybe more rated R, darker stories, more gritty stories, more violent. They teased it very, very, very slightly with Echo, but we talked about it a lot in our review. It doesn't really capture the essence of I think what we're looking for. Deadpool, they really can't cut corners on that one, and I kind of have a good idea for some of the coverage we can do on the way up to the pod. Very interested to see again, just like how it relates to the Fox legacy of Marvel films and what that might mean, and just like the potential there and who we might see pop up. And that'll be a great one. Do you think we're gonna get a trailer for it at the Super Bowl? Because like by that point, we're like what, 5 months out? You know, the Super Bowl's in a couple weeks. You know, it's right there. I would imagine like we're close to probably seeing the first look. What better opportunity than to take the very stage that Miss Taylor Swift is going to be on, and she's allegedly in the movie, y'all. I just want to go ahead and throw that out there right now. I might be throwing you in some real hot water right now, so my bad. But could we see it happen, real soon here? Chiefs, 49ers, Super Bowl trailer? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that I think hell yeah. I think Marvel, MCU, Disney, they like to say, hey, where is our biggest audience? Super Bowl was it, man. If you do really want to make a splash with this movie, that's definitely the time to do it. And that definitely allows leeway for all of the YouTubers, all of the content creators to definitely get, I think, everything they need to get out in the month of February and March. You know what I'm saying? To gear up, to get excited about this movie. And so, yeah, I think the Super Bowl makes a ton of sense for the trailer for Deadpool 3. I really do. I don't have any pushback on that at all. I don't because in the end it plays in front of a lot of other good movies. You know what I'm saying? That was potentially coming out in between that time, and I think they like to do that too. And so, yeah, man, I think that's definitely it. You're onto something there.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. They'll play the trailer during an ad break,
Yep.
and as soon as they return, shout out Taylor Swift in her press box. I'm telling y'all, it's happening. Even if they might not even show her in the movie. They might not even show her in the movie. That might be a surprise that they reserve and hold off. The first shot back from the ad break will be Taylor Swift. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it right now. Hate me all you want, people. I don't care. Anyway, let's talk about some other movies coming out this year. There's still plenty of other things coming out. First off, once again in a couple weeks here, top 10 movie of 2024, Madam Web is on its way. They're doing this. This is a real movie. You know what's interesting though about this though? There were rumors recently that allegedly Andrew Garfield was supposed to be the Spider-Man of this universe, but
Mm-hmm.
For whatever circumstances that did not work out. But this is a period piece. This movie takes place in 2003. That has been confirmed.
Mm.
They've been marketing it. They've been actively promoting it. Tickets just went on sale. Pretty empty, those auditoriums, but it is what it is. But it's coming out in a couple weeks here on Valentine's Day. Any thoughts on Madam Web, its prospects, what it might do?
No, I'm gonna watch it, but I've never seen people try so hard to make me like to get me to not like a movie before it came out. It's so impressive to me. It's like, do y'all really want us to see it? Like, I am, if anything, I am the top of your fan base. I'm a Spider-Man head. I'm a cinephile. We gonna go see this movie regardless. And you're getting me to hate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're not. Come on, what are we doing here? And so, yeah, I just can't believe this movie is happening at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna have to be inebriated or something in this theater. I know that, but yeah, it's happening.
Madam fucking Web,
Madam Web.
a movie coming out in theaters. We have got to reevaluate the characters that get movies. Allegedly, also like a headline that just came out. Speaking of Sony Marvel, and a lot of this conversation happening, El Muerto is apparently back in
Oh
development
yeah,
over there, which we know now.
with big
Like,
news.
yeah, Bad Bunny is not attached because he probably read that script and said no thanks. And they're still trying to move forward with it. Don't know when it's going to come out. Won't be this year, but yeah, they're still making these movies, these non-Spider-Man movies, and Craven's coming out this year too. So that'll be another one. I think that's probably going to work out a little bit better than Madam Web. If I had to guess, if I had to just go ahead and put $5 on it, I'll put more money on Craven than Madam Web. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Let's get out of that world for a second, though. Two late March releases. We can do these kind of together. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire and
Hmm.
Godzilla
Hmm.
Kong: The New Empire. We've kind of talked about these a little bit, but Ghostbusters, a follow up to the movie that came out in 2021. Solid movie, not great, not spectacular, but pretty,
Hmm.
probably the better, maybe the best sequel that they've did since the original. And then of course Godzilla Kong, the latest entry into the MonsterVerse legendary franchise. That'll be the 5th installment, I believe. And they're taking on a
Sheesh.
brand new enemy. So two big tentpole releases at the end of March. Any thoughts on these?
Uh, both. I actually want to see both, but I don't have to see both. If that makes any sense. It's like, oh yeah, I want to watch that movie, but I don't know how they're going to turn out. Nor do I really. I think does it really move me at all if either one is bad or good? Just like I do hope they're good. Don't get me wrong. It's like, oh yeah, these are movies I just kind of expect to exist, kind of in the world, and they do how they do. And so yeah, I do want to watch them, but yeah, they both sit in like a weird spot of like, well, we don't know how it's gonna go, kind of type thing. So yeah, we'll see.
They both also have Empire in their name, releasing a
Yeah,
week
the
apart.
Empire.
Which we're building new empires these days, I guess. But let's go to April. April might be quietly my favorite month of this year in terms of releases. Have you seen the trailer for Monkey Man,
Oh, it almost made top five. I ain't gonna lie
dude?
to you. It almost made top five. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually that's one of the ones competing for for the 5th spot.
What the hell? I
Yeah,
Dev Patel. Wow.
Dev Patel.
Wow.
There he
Wow.
is.
That movie coming out of nowhere completely. And I'm so excited for it. He's
Yeah.
directing. It's a Jordan Peele production.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Indian John Wick. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is eagerly like one of my more anticipated movies now. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and this crazy part is it was supposed to be a Netflix release, and this dude Jordan Peele watched it and was like, "Hell no, this is going into theaters." And so they moved it from Netflix and put it in theaters instead. Gotta love it, man. I'm
Thank
so
God.
excited.
Thank God. This looks so good. So much fun. Can't wait. Also, they're reuniting Dev Patel, and I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who was the want to be a millionaire host in Slumdog Millionaire, who tried to
Yeah.
fucking screw him over.
Yeah.
They're reunited and they're at odds again. So I'm like, yes, this is like 20 years in the making. I can't wait to see them on the screen together again. Also coming out in April, Civil War, the brand new
Banger.
A24 movie. Looks incredible. Looks great. Looks fun. Looks epic. I think this might be like the most expensive or one of the more expensive A24 movies. I mean, if you just see the trailer, you could tell.
Hmm.
But yeah, this looks great too. I think this is going to be like a great film. Any thoughts on Civil War?
Yeah, it's just funny. Alex Garland, I feel like never does anything so quote unquote grounded. He's always like,
Nope.
"Oh, here's Annihilation," when we're like somewhere in some crazy instance. But yeah, this is gonna be like his most grounded thing he's done. I'm really excited though. This dude is such a good filmmaker. I think I'm really excited for Civil War. Alex Garland is that guy. So yeah, I'm anticipating this for sure.
Also coming out in April, Abigail, which is a new horror movie from the Silence Collective, which those are the guys behind the most recent Scream films. And this is a vampire movie.
Mm.
This trailer looks great too. I think if people are into horror, this looks like a really, really fun time. It's releasing under Universal Pictures. They've been on a great run and hot streak with their horror output lately. And they left the Scream franchise to make this. They wanted to go make something original, and that was clearly the good choice. Based on where Scream is at right now. But I'm excited about this one too. And then quickly rounding out the month is going to be Challengers, which is the Zendaya movie, the tennis movie, which I've been really, really excited to see. It was supposed to come out in 2023, but they pushed it back so that she could, be out there to promote the movie because the Zendaya effect is powerful. Can buy that. So it'll be a great month. Abigail and Challengers, rounding out, some of the bigger releases that month. Any other, sort of thoughts on those coming out?
Oh yeah, I love all vampire content. Looking for more good vampire content, so really excited about Abigail. Also, the tone of that movie seems, I don't know, it's so interesting. I think it'll be something different we haven't seen, but pretty decent cast there as well. And then to round it off, challengers like tennis content is also up. I don't know if people realize, but there's like some tennis. I think tennis, some of their views have been up with some of the things going on, and then also there's been like some tennis anime that's kind of out too. It's crazy. So tennis is in a good spot. So I think Challengers as a movie with Zendaya behind it, I think they have something. So hopefully it's a good movie. But yeah, excited to see that as well.
Yeah. In May, we already talked about Furiosa. But also coming out is another big movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is going to be coming out. We're also getting The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. That moved up, I think, famously. It was supposed to come out later in the summer, but they decided to take that opening weekend slot in May to kind of kick off the summer movie season. And there's also a Garfield movie coming out, voiced by Chris Pratt. Once again, don't know how to feel about that. I don't even know if don't even know if I'm going to see it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, May, I don't know, man. It could go either way. Again, these, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we're 10 movies deep now with that franchise. It's
Crazy.
really wild to think about. And they're coming off of, really successful films from Matt Reeves. I wasn't a huge fan of like the third one. I think it's
That
good.
last one.
Yeah, the last one,
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
good, but it doesn't reach the heights of the second one. But I'm still interested. And then the Fall Guy, I love Ryan Gosling, love Emily Blunt. This has big bullet train energy. If it can match that, I'm here for it. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty excited for Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. The director behind it is the same dude that did all the Maze Runner movies. And they're not perfect movies or anything, but I think he's really good at directing scale.
Yeah, he is.
And I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, this is going to be something crazy. It looks really beautiful. I'm really excited to how they do the production design and how they make that movie look kind of more than anything. I think there's a lot of potential there. So pretty excited about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And I kind of like you said, I like those other movies. The last one was still good, but not as good as the other two, I think, and where those two put me, but I still enjoyed it. And so pretty excited for the Kingdom of Planet of the Apes movie. Other than that, the man, Garfield movie, like you said, I don't know. I know that cast is randomly stacked, but um yeah, man. I think the Amy Whitehouse movie though. I'm a huge Amy Whitehouse fan. Just randomly, what I will say is just biopics in general have been like, what are we doing? I don't know where that genre is going, or if it hasn't really worked here recently in the past, kind of at all. Like I'm thinking of all the biopics that are in my head, where like we always do this thing where we like the person portraying the person in the biopic does fine. We always recognize them for their acting, and then we recognize the movie is just not that good. The movie is just like, oh, we it's not adding anything. So while I'm excited to see a new take on Amy Winehouse in a biopic, is like, is it going to be good? Probably not, but the person probably playing Amy is probably going to be good. So yeah, it's really weird in that way. But yeah, I still kind of want to watch it regardless.
Yeah, and the lead time for these things is getting shorter. I mean, she's been gone for a while, but not that
Hmm.
long. I mean, it used
Yeah.
to be the days used to be where it's like you don't get a biopic about some famous figures for like 20 years, 25 years,
Yeah.
but like
Hmm.
this is still relatively fresh, based on the tragic end of her life, unfortunately. But that could be a really good one. Just based on who Amy Winehouse is and how much she shaped, sort of contemporary music. But to your point, just the structure and the nature of biopics. I mean, you can't necessarily expect too much, from them. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a sleeper hit of the summer. Like this might be
Hmm.
potentially
I hope
massive.
so.
One of
I would
those
love that.
movies that sticks around. So yeah, we'll see for sure. June, Ballerina's coming out. John Wick spinoff. I'm hoping. I'm really really hoping this is going to be good. Ana de Armas is the lead character here.
Hmm.
We also know Keanu Reeves is going to be in it. Even despite the events of John Wick Chapter 4. But look, great action movie in the summer. John Wick franchise. Who does it better at this point? I don't know anybody.
Hmm.
So I'm here for it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I still haven't watched Continental. I still need to watch
Oh,
the
don't
Continental.
really waste your time. It's not. I'm. It's unfortunate to say, and I didn't finish it. I'll be honest, but I watched the first episode.
Hmm.
Dry, boring. It's actively not
Sheesh.
the John Wick things that you would want out of a show. The great action
Damn.
is in like the first 5 minutes, and then it's like, what is
It's
this
like, what
supposed
are
to
we
be?
doing?
So yeah,
Yep. That's unfortunate. But still, Ballerina. We seen, I think, the potential what Ana de Armas can do as an action heroine, whatever, espionage person for a long time. And so I'm excited for her to be at the front of Ballerina. I think it has makings to be good, but we just got to see.
yeah. We're getting Inside Out too as well. Another sequel.
They had to. They ain't got
They
no
they
choice.
needed something. They needed a win,
They
right?
said sequel. We yeah.
Pixar needs they need a big they need a home run for sure. It's been 9 years since that last one. That was a surprise breakout hit for Pixar when it came out in 2015. Just a wonderful movie, wonderful movie.
Hmm.
So this could be giant for them, and they do kind of desperately need it. Pixar has been bruised lately in terms of their output, and they've just not lived in the glory that I think we're used to seeing Pixar in. So much so that they're re-releasing movies like Soul and Turning Red that did not get traditional theatrical releases, and I think rightfully so. They're putting them in theaters for a short run here over these past few weeks. But I need Inside Out 2 to be a big win for them. I need them to do something, with this story and with this movie and justify its existence ultimately at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think I actually really like the trailer though. I will say, like, because at first it's like, okay, what new can you bring to the table? And they're like, oh, here are all these new feelings that what I mean. She can feel, but they make sense though, right? It's like Disney's take at Big Mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, she has all these new things that she can go through and feel now. So I think there's definitely a story there to be told. So yeah, I'm excited about it, man. Inside Out 1 is really good. Pixar needs a W. Right now, again, I like the premise. I like the trailer. We just need it to come out and be good. You like you said, they need a home run. They really need this. I love you, Pixar, but you got to get it together. And so this is their chance.
For sure. We're supposed to be getting Bad Boys 4 in June as well, which for some weird reason that movie doesn't feel real to me. I don't
Hmm.
know what it is, but it's supposed to come out in June. I will say, look, Bad Boys 3 was surprisingly like really good.
Hmm.
They surpassed my expectations on that movie. Fourth time out, somewhat risky. But look, I have faith in both Will and Martin, especially Martin Lawrence. Like he shows up and shows out when it comes time to comedy. So hopefully they can just retain that same spirit, of what they did. And then also closing out the month too, a prequel, A Quiet Place Day One, which is going to be coming out. This is not directed by John Krasinski. I'm sure he's producing it, but he is directing a different movie this year called If, Imaginary Friend. But A Quiet Place Day One is going to go presumably back to the first day of the events of when everything went to fucking shit in that universe, and so that's going to round out the month. Any thoughts on Bad Boys 4? The missed opportunity to not use for life there instead of the last one.
Such a missed opportunity.
You know,
Like what? I just it still blows my mind. Like I don't know how we just skipping over this stuff. I actually seen that today. I know this is kind of off topic, but Issa Rae had like a new magazine she shot with, and it says "Ray of Light" on the front, RAY instead of RAE. What are we doing? Her name is Issa Rae. It should have been Ray of Light. I don't know why we're like missing these naming opportunities, but we are missing the hell out of them. It's kind of crazy. I think I think Bad Boys 4, yeah, like you said, it doesn't feel real. It is. I don't haven't seen much for it. I don't know. Usually, also usually Will Smith is just louder in as a what
That's
I mean as a
true.
face
Yeah.
in public media, but now he has been very quiet. So much been going on with him, of course, but because of that, again, it's just been very quiet on the Will Smith front. So that also doesn't help, right? He's always felt like the spokesperson of his own movies. He's marketed his own movies really well, and now it's like, well, this movie might be coming out, but where the hell is Will Smith at? Kind of type thing. It's kind of how it feels. And then Quiet Place. I still love that world. I love those two movies. I think they're really good. Um, it will be weird without John Krasinski, but it is a risk him not being there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he created this world. Now he's not going to be part of it anymore. It's almost like when James Wan left The Conjuring, right? We didn't know how Conjuring 3 was going to be. 1 and 2 were great under him. 3 was like, we don't know how that is. And that's kind of how this movie feels. Quiet Place 3 is out with John Krasinski. And so we'll see how it works. But yeah, I'm still excited to watch it, but definitely the one that's kind of a little more up in the air.
Yeah, for sure. Let's kind of speed through the rest of these. July, we talked about Deadpool 3. There's a Twister sequel, which is kind of crazy. They're making another Twisters movie after like 20 something years, but I'm looking forward to it. Glenn Powell's going to be in it. Also want to shout out Glenn Powell too. Hitman, that's coming out in June. That's going to be on Netflix. That's Richard
Mm-hmm.
Linklater's new movie that's coming out. And
Wow.
I'm looking forward
Okay.
to that. He's co-starring with Adria Arjona, who was also in Andor, so that might be really good. August is, relatively lighter as expected, but still potentially some good stuff there. Alien Romulus is going to be coming out, as well as Craven the Hunter, and then a Borderlands movie, which has a ridiculous cast, a part of Borderlands. Like that cast is incredibly stacked for whatever reason. Anything you want to call out about some of those other releases coming out, later in the summer?
I can't believe there's another Despicable Me. Them movies are gonna keep making money. That's just kind of
That's
crazy.
a bill easy
Uh,
right there in its
Easy,
sleep. Yeah.
easy. It's so yeah. Shout out to Illuminations for just they literally keep animation going. It's kind of crazy. Shout out to Twisters too. Like you said, wow, that's actually happening. Borderlands, crazy, it's actually happening. The piece of video game content we get this year is Borderlands, and that random Fallout show and that random Fallout TV show.
Yep.
So
On Prime.
we'll see how both of these work out. They're both like post apocalyptic kind of thing. They actually feel the same in terms of tone. Borderlands is really funny. If you ever played the game, there's a lot of jokes going around in Borderlands, but a lot of guns too in Borderlands. So we'll see how it plays out, man. I'm excited for the gamers though. I think that'll be dope. Alien Romulus. I just got done doing my Alien rewatch. I'm ready. I'm ready for Alien, man. It's something about Alien that just feels cool. But to know somebody has a different story in their mind to bring something forward, let's do it. Let's see how, you know what I'm saying? Let's see how it turns out. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, well, you still got all the other Alien classics. So I think, yeah, we'll see what happens. And then Craven is, yeah, whatever. We'll see what happens there too.
Yeah. September, we're getting Beetlejuice 2. They are finally doing another Beetlejuice movie. Famously, Jenna Ortega is in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Michael Keaton is returning. A lot of the main cast. Tim Burton is also directing. We're also getting another Saw movie. Saw 11. That franchise is still kicking. I mean, I can't be mad at it. Saw 10 was really good, surprisingly good. I
Yeah.
like that movie a lot. So they rebounded quickly. Wolves, not Wolves. Wolves is coming out in September as well. This is a brand new Brad Pitt and George Clooney movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Brad Pitt and George Clooney reuniting, from the Ocean's franchise. So
Yeah.
I'm totally here for that. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, it's Brad Pitt and George Clooney. So I can't wait to see that. And then Transformers 1, which is going to be an animated Transformers movie. The first animated Transformers movie since like the 80s. They've done these live action films, which whatever, but now we're going to go back to animation, and the voice cast is really, really impressive. So I can't wait for that one as well. Any thoughts on the September releases?
Man, not really. Beetlejuice 2, I'm looking forward to it. Hope it'll be good. Transformers 1, why weren't we doing animated Transformers movies
This
already?
entire time,
Uh,
really, they
like what is
should have not stopped.
like what are we, yeah, it just okay, whatever if you say so. Um George Clooney and Brad Pitt, man. Wow. Okay, I'm down. Sounds good to me. With Wolves and then Saul. I'm not surprised about Saul at all. Like you said, the last one was actually pretty decent. So if they can keep spinning it like that and surprising us, shoot, I'll watch another one. I think the thing is, it just hasn't been much to do. But that one's like, oh, y'all did something different. If they can do that again, hey, let's do it.
Definitely. October is going to kick off with Joker, Folly, Adieu.
Ooh,
This also it closely made my
it
top
was
five. It was
close.
really
It's
really
close.
close. Big fan of that first one, and now this new one. Todd Phillips coming back, Joaquin Phoenix coming back, Lady Gaga joins the cast as Harley Quinn. I am long predicting that Lady Gaga will be nominated for Academy Award for Best Actress in this movie. I'm calling it. I haven't seen a fucking thing from this movie except some photos, and I'm already
I love
calling
that.
Academy Awards. I'm putting that stamp down
I
now. But
love it.
I imagine we're probably gonna get a trailer this spring. Look, I'm here for it. Like a musical, why the fuck not? You got to keep it different. You got to do something fresh and new. The first one worked for me. I know it has a lot of detractors, very divisive, controversial movie for many, many reasons. But 5 years later, coming back and sort of telling this new story with an esteemed actress and performer and singer like Lady Gaga, shit, I'm down.
The fact that we're giving like a Joker Harley Quinn story to like the artsy kids is crazy. Like, like I don't know how, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh yeah, we got this new like theater production we're putting on. Oh, really, for real? Who's in it? Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Oh, what? Joaquin can sing. We know Lady Gaga can sing. What's it about? The Joker and Harley Quinn. You would have never like, I would have never conceptualized this, but here we are. Wow, it's happening. I'm excited to watch it, man. Again, musical content. We know it's a musical. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about how people have been marketing stuff is like, we don't know if it's a musical or not. We know Folly Do is a musical. We gotta like keep saying it on the show because we don't know what the trailer gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? Like it's happening. And so yeah, I'm very excited. Like I said, I almost cracked the top five. This is one of the ones that was tied for that fifth spot. But let's do it, man. Let's get artsy fartsy.
Absolutely. Also in October, we're going to get a lot of horror movies for Halloween. Finally, we're getting horror movies
Finally.
on Halloween. We're getting a sequel to Smile, the biggest
Hell
horror
yeah.
movie of 2022. We're getting The Wolfman, which
Hell
recently
yeah.
Ryan Gosling was replaced, but Christopher Abbott is going to step into the role. Christopher Abbott, great in Poor Things, by the way, amazing. And so he's going to be the Wolfman. And Terrifier 3 is coming out in October as well. What can you say about Terrifier to people who've not seen Terrifier? Because I don't know what the fuck to say about that franchise. But if you've not witnessed Terrifier, I think you might need a warning before you go into it because shit, it's different. It's hardcore.
It is hardcore. It's like, yeah, there's just no filter in that movie. It is complete. There's none. There's none. But the atmosphere that Terrifier makes is so different. It's so different. It's almost like they do like these soap opera filling moments. You know what I'm saying? It almost feels like soap opera sometimes. It's like, what is this? What is this thing I'm watching? But it turns into this again, this just gruesome, unapologetic kind of slasher clown movie is really what it is. Just it's nuts, man. But it's coming out on Halloween. Wow. Why we've been talking about this for years. Where has this been? Where has this energy been? Why is nobody coming out with the horror films on Halloween anymore? It's been weird, bro. But we finally got one with this Terrifier movie. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, look, that this could potentially be a tremendous couple of weeks here. You know, with Terrifier 3, Smile, love that first movie. So super excited for the sequel. And Wolfman, I mean, if they've taken the care with this one, like they did with Invisible Man a few years ago,
Ooh, we
we're in store
start
for
talking
something
about that verse
special.
again.
Yeah, yeah. Like let's figure
Because
something out here
Invisible
because
Man's too good, bro.
yeah, you give
That
me a
movie's good.
second good movie with the Universal monster characters, then I want to see what the potential looks like for potential crossovers in the future. So yeah, October shaping up to be really really fun month. November, Venom 3, again another Sony Marvel movie. How do we have three Venom movies?
It's crazy.
This is actually
So
wild that
crazy.
we made it to Venom 3. Like what the hell? But a really successful franchise. I mean, I didn't like the second one as much as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But still here for it. Still here for Tom Hardy's commitment to the character. And I wonder where they can go with it. They did Carnage. That was kind of the big blow off I think a lot of people wanted to see. So I'm curious to see what Venom 3 might shape up to be, and how they
Mhm.
can make it still interesting, and what antagonists might come into the fray. I'm just not sure. Any thoughts on just like the temperature for Venom before we get there?
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you completely, man. The second one was is not as good, but also Carnage is like that's your big eye, man. I will say symbiotes have such a long history, and there is a lot you can still do there, and a lot of both anti kind of hero and bad symbiotes still out there to play with. So maybe that's their goal. Maybe that's what they're leaning towards. I'm just in there to have fun, and if Tom Hardy can have fun, maybe I can too. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there's still some fun to be had. So we'll have to see there.
Eddie, we need brains, human brains. Yeah, I'm here for it. But also in November, you talked about Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
Red One, the new Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans
is that
movie.
a Christmas movie?
Yeah, I just can't. I cannot. I really can't. I'm sorry. Love you, Dwayne. Love you, DJ, but I just cannot, man. I really have nothing to say about that movie. Nothing nice, at least. But what I am excited about in November, Wicked Part 1 is coming out.
Yes,
I've heard some really, really good stuff about this.
yes.
They had some teases at CinemaCon. Apparently, they stole CinemaCon last year. They're probably going to have a trailer for CinemaCon this year. I've seen Wicked on Broadway twice. It's fantastic. The music, the soundtrack, wonderful, and the cast here, really, really talented. So I think that this might shape up to be one of the bigger surprises of the year, because
Mm-hmm.
musical, yes, and we've known the status of musicals in Hollywood, but we just saw what Wonka did, crossed 500 million at the box office. So people can still have fun and go and pay to see musicals, and this is a well-known, beloved musical that's been around for like 20 years now.
Yeah,
And it's the Wizard of Oz. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, just tremendous upside. I'm really, really excited about that one too.
I agree. I agree. I think Wicked is gonna be nuts. To be honest, bro. I think every year we try to get like one really good musical. This is the one. I think Wicked's the one, bro. I really do. I'm not discounting anything for Folly to Do either. I don't know how the movie's gonna go. It could be great, but this is the one. Wicked's gonna be great. It's so popular. It's so good. It's Wizard of Oz territory. I think they really have a hit on their hands. It just has to come out at this point. To me, it's just like just come out Wicked, and I'm really excited for it.
No doubt, no doubt. In December, rounding things out, we have a animated Lord of the Rings movie, The Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim. That's coming out. That's going to get a theatrical release. Very, very curious about that. We talked about Nosferatu. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is going to finally come out. That'll be the sequel to the second one that came out in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. They're doing a Lion King prequel, Mufasa, directed by Barry Jenkins, and then Karate Kid, which was announced, a few weeks ago, like the end of last year. They are doing another theatrical Karate Kid movie, even though we have not gotten Cobra Kai season 6. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Don't know. But Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio are sort of merging two different installments of that franchise, and doing something new there. So, how do you feel about December? I mean, it's kind of all over the place, if I'm being honest. Like, we just got off of a pretty strong December, I would say. There were a lot
Hmm.
of releases, a
Hmm.
lot of diverse, sort of movies that came out, Color Purple and Wonka and Aquaman. I mean, didn't love the movie, but it did pretty well. It did okay. But now, like, Lion King and Lord of the Rings and Sonic and Nos fucking Ferratu coming out Christmas Day. Like, I can't make sense of any of this. But how do you feel about December and how it's shaping up?
December is a whack job, boy. These are like all like not related, but all very like nerdy things that kind of happening in December. I'm this is also the month to me overall that's like high risk, high reward, but also like it could go really bad. It could go really like all of this could go bad. Like Lord of the Rings could be bad. Like Mufasa could be bad. Sonic could like it could all be bad, but it could also be really good. You know what I mean? It could. It has like the highest ceiling in the lowest floor. It
Yeah.
really does. It's kind of crazy. But nonetheless, I'm going to be watching all of these. Lord of the Rings animated. Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be good. The one thing, so Mufasa and Lion King, we're like, oh man, that last Lion King movie, hell no, was not good. But what I am giving this movie is Barry Jenkins has not missed. That's what I'm giving to it. If Barry Jenkins is on the case, maybe there's something about it. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something about this movie I don't know. I don't know what the vision is, but Barry Jenkins for me has not missed, and so I have to say I'll be there. I'll be there watching it to see what happens. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the potential, oh my God, is so through the roof with this movie, y'all. I mean, we finally might have Shadow in this thing. And the world of Sonic is so vast and so big. There's other characters beyond Shadow, too, that we can still talk about and still go through. And so, shoot. And it's the same way with villains too. Like there's a lot in the Sonic world, and those movies have been performing pretty good. And so I think the Sonic Hedgehog 3 might be good. We already talked about Nosferatu, so on both of our lists, and then Karate Kid. Wow, we have to figure out what this even means. It's still going to be weird that it's separated from Cobra Kai,
Which
but still exists as the Karate Kid.
that's a massive mistake. I really hate that they're not connecting it because
It's
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so I don't know why they keep doing this. So yeah, we even have to figure out what exactly that movie is when the trailer comes out. But the other four, again, high risk, high reward. We'll see what happens, man. It's a tricky month. It'll be a tricky month.
Yeah, I will say about the Barry Jenkins piece, like he has not missed, but he's also not made a big blockbuster like this, and
Yeah,
I don't know how
for
that's
sure.
gonna work for him. I don't know if his style and his sensibilities work well in that environment. Perhaps they do. I hope
Hmm.
that they do. I just for our sakes, because this is definitely a film that I think is gonna probably capture a lot of people. I hope for our sakes and for the audience's sake that we enjoy it and that he delivers something that does feel special, at least more special than what
Hmm.
that 2019 film was. Let's get into some other movies that don't have dates, things that we missed. Any big call outs for you, like things that we didn't talk about that you're really looking forward to as well that might not have made your list, and other films that are hopefully going to come out this year, but we might not be entirely sure about?
The big one for me for sure is Maxine. We know it's for sure coming out this year, but us not having a date is like, what is that about? You know what I mean? I feel like they've been shooting this movie forever.
Yeah,
And it's
especially
like
because we got those first two like back to back almost, like within 6 months of each
back
other.
to back, and especially after Pearl, it was like ready for Maxine. You know what I'm saying? It felt like the landscape was already like, oh, Maxine could be on the horizon. So that's one of the only thing, one of the big movies I say that I'm looking forward to coming up. That again, we really don't know much about it. What's really technically going on with it? It's just like I feel like any day they could drop a date and we'll be ready. It's just like, dang, what date is that? I'm guessing it'll be a summer release. In my mind, it's like a June or July-ish kind of feel because it is Maxine. She is going to be in like LA filling territory. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's all I'm waiting on. So yeah, that's one of the big ones I want to call out.
Yeah, I got a few here that I'll just call out that I'm very much interested in. Megalopolis. This is the new Francis Ford Coppola movie. He's been working on this for a long time. Don't know if it's even going to come out this year, but this is fully funded by him, based off of his wine company. The man has been selling wine for like a long time now, and he's fully funding this movie,
Mm-hmm.
which has a budget of I think about 120 million. But the cast is unreal. I mean, Adam Driver, Forrest Whitaker, Jason Schwartzman, Lawrence
Wow.
Fishburne, Giancarlo Esposito, Shia LaBeouf is in it. It's ridiculous. Like I'm very very much excited about this. Hopefully it comes out this year, but it doesn't currently have a date. Also Blitz, the new Steve McQueen movie. I love Steve McQueen
Mm-hmm.
as a filmmaker. Widows, 12 Years a Slave, everything he did with Small Axe. He also has like a documentary out right now that I want to check out, but this is going to be a dramatic film that's I think coming out this year, hopefully. Also Opus. This is an A24 horror movie starring John Malkovich and Io Adebri, which sign me the fuck up because A24 horror, typically a fan of. John Malkovich is he's hilarious. He's just so funny. And acting alongside Io Adebri, I'm just really really interested and curious to see what that's gonna result into, and so I can't wait for that. Also another A24 movie looking out for Sing Sing, starring Coleman Domingo. That's another, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, horror movie that's going to be coming out this year. Coleman Domingo is just like he's entering another stratosphere right now. I'm so happy for him. He's just, recently nominated for an Academy Award. He's getting all sorts of roles. He just got cast as Joe Jackson in the Michael Jackson biopic that's going to be coming out really, really soon here. So he is occupying the villainous father figure lane completely. So I'm here for anything that he's coming out with. So definitely some good stuff to look forward to there. Also, Den of Thieves 2. I love the first Den of Thieves. It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Nice heist movie. Love my heist movies. So also can't wait for that one. So those are other, a
Oh,
couple of other ones that I want to call out.
yeah, I had one more.
Mhm.
Kinds of Kindness. Have you heard about that? Kinds of Kindness.
No.
It is supposedly. a anthology. It's an anthology film. But Yorgos, this is Yorgos and Emma teaming up again. With Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe. Like it's supposed to be reunited this year.
Well,
I think it was already shot and everything. Like they've been done with it, but I think it's supposed to come out this year. So that was one of my other ones. Kinds of Kindness is what it's called. But yeah,
shit, nigga, that's all you had to say. In my best Samuel L. Jackson impersonation, yeah, that's you say Emma Stone and Yorgos Lanthimos. At this point,
yep.
you might as well say Marty Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio. That's where I'm
No,
at with
really
them.
though.
Like
They like that. Yeah.
they make magic together, and that makes sense though because when we saw Poor Things, they did a Q&A with both Yorgos and Emma, and they teased that they were going to be working together again
Mm-hmm.
soon, that they had already started to develop their next movie, and from the sounds of it, they've already got it, kind of nailed away. And he seems like a fast filmmaker. I don't think it takes like a ton of time to shoot stuff for him, so they're probably actively working on this right now to get it out possibly before the end of the year. So I love that. I love to see that. So it should be hopefully, I think, a solid 2024. I'm very, very hopeful, at least based off of the things that we've talked about and where things can go. And hopefully we don't get as many of some of the disappointments that we saw last year in 2023, because some of those
Mm-hmm.
big disappointments were hugely disappointing, but lots of surprises in store. But before we close out, any final thoughts on 2024, what the outlook looks like from a TV or movie standpoint?
Yeah, I just think this will be. I think it'll be a better year than what it people might think it is. You know what I mean? We're looking for a lot of these, like you kind of call them B plus tier IP kind of movies to hit. But I think we're in a landscape for them to do that. A lot of people have a lot of new imaginations and are doing new looks and takes at things that can go they really good or can go really bad. But I think both across television and movies, people are starting to try some new things, and there are a lot of new original things that are coming out as well. And so I think people should be excited regardless. But you got to get our butts in those theaters, man. People gonna keep coming with the original content. But overall, I'm looking forward to it. I like having A+ IP time off. You know what I mean? So I can pay attention to some other stuff that might be just as meaningful in some of these smaller stories. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about the year.
Well, folks, with that being said, that's all we have for our conversation about the most anticipated TV shows and movies of 2024. If you're looking forward to any of these projects, if we missed anything, definitely hit us up and let us know what you think.